Alright, Shalom, TikTok and YouTube and whatever else I happen to post it to. In this video, what I want to do is I covered a little bit, and if you're on YouTube or wherever, you'll see where I went through the calendar. On TikTok, you'll find it too if you sift through all the videos and what have you. That's why I want to put everything eventually on TikTok. I mean on YouTube, make it easier to sort through everything and search and find what have you. But nevertheless, what I want to encompass is the leap year. So if you understand the calendar and what have you, as I do, right? Most modern Christians in modern day follow the Gregorian calendar instilled by the Pope. When I argue with atheists and what have you, they'll try to promote their evolution theory and Big Bang theory and what have you. And they don't understand the context of me saying, well, the majority proclaim December to be the 12th month when it literally means the 10th. Because all they're doing with evolution theory and Big Bang theory is perpetuating the same nonsense of distorting the true history of the world under the pretense that they're more knowledgeable, right? So it's not just a matter that Pope did that back in the 16 or 1500s or what have you when it changed over to the Gregorian calendar, but likewise with the Julian calendar, which is from the Romans, because the Gregorian is derivative. But you have to keep in mind that a lot of naming conventions within the Julian calendar are named after Roman deities, or named after, like July is named after Julius Caesar, and August over after Augustus Caesar, what have you, right? So that said, and the Romans conquered part of Israel and incorporated it into their theology and what have you, and there's a lot of sun god worship in Roman theology and what have you. That's why there's that mixture of people worshiping the sun and the early Christianity and what have you, and you had likewise the people that were more adherent to what Yeshua was preaching, right? So there's that mix to it. But likewise, if you understand the Orthodox Jewish calendar, one of the names of their months is named after Tammuz from Babylon, which was worshipped as the reincarnation of Nimrod, which was the sun god Baal, right? Where all the sun god worship stems from is from Babylon, Nimrod and Tammuz, his son Tammuz. So that said, even the Jews at the time, you can find Tammuz listed in the Bible and way of it too, that correlation, because he is mentioned in there, right? So that said, that's where that whole sun god worship in that comes from. So that's why, and on my YouTube, I debunk the calendar. I go in a little bit more detail with the biblical calendar. You can try to find the answer on ChatGPT and what have you. It's not really going to give you a solid answer other than, well, the Jews decided to change everything. It's like, yeah, basically when they decided to change everything, that means they distorted the timeline, changed the history and what have you, and changed their observance of the holy days per Leviticus 23. That's why I'll make another video. I don't think I went through the holy days on YouTube. Yeah, I have done it a little bit on TikTok, but eventually, like I said, this video is for both. I'm going to try to make smaller, shorter videos, quick to the point, give you a little bit of information. That way you don't have to spend hours and what have you, and they can post both relatively easily, right? So that said, so if you understand the dynamics that the Orthodox Jews don't follow the biblical calendar either, all of which are derived from the Bible, because again, he had Noah with his three sons, Ham, Japheth, and Shem. So everybody followed the calendars. Eventually, I'll have all the other calendars on my website. You can find the website in that way heavy too here. So I'm going to have everything eventually posted up to the website. It's going to take me a long time. You're talking about years worth of work and what have you. I'm going to be putting into this and what have you. It'll be semi like my legacy, right? After I pass away or what have you, it'll be there as a foundation for anybody to see if people don't obviously do whatever they do and destroy my website. So I'll have copies and what have you. I'll try to give it over to a friend, family, or somebody hopefully of Elohim when I pass on, prior to passing, what have you. That way they can facilitate it and carry on. But nevertheless, that said, that's the whole purpose of everything that I do. Posting the videos, posting, everything is to educate people, because it's a matter of salvation, right? Salvation is of the Jews per John 4, per John 4:22. Romans 2 clarifies that a Jew isn't won by heredity, but by obedience to the Torah. So it's more a matter of what you do, not a matter of who your parents are when it comes to true Judaism, right? There's 12 tribes of Israel. I'm breaking everything down again on my website. But the whole purpose of this particular video is I happen to notice that it's a leap year and on the Gregorian calendar. So every 4 years, basically, what do you have? Per science and way, they insert extra day in February, make it 29 days in length to distort, well, rather to adjust for the solar calendar, right? The Enochian calendar, as people proclaim it to be, because there's 365 days in the Enochian calendar, which is something that recently came to my knowledge. I didn't realize that it was a matter of that. That's why it's called that. But you have to keep in mind their solar calendars. The true biblical calendar is a lunar calendar, right? So you have people that worship the stars, like the sun and the moon, what have you, and that's what that's derivative of. But the true biblical calendar is based on the lunar cycle. So that said, there are leap years as well in the biblical calendar, but it's not a leap day, it's a leap month. The months within the biblical calendar are anywhere from, I think it's 29 or 30 days every month, somewhere around there, and depending on when the new moon comes in. So when the new moon comes in, then when the sun sets, if the sun set before the new moon came in, then it would be the following sunset that starts the new month, or and same likewise, if it came in before the sunset, then when sun sets, that's the beginning of a new month, right? So that said, on the biblical calendar, you could have 12 months, or sometimes you have 13 months, right? Because if the new moon comes in for the new year, if you observe the years properly, and which the Orthodox Jews don't either follow the true lunar year cycle, right? So then you would understand that, well, if the barley is an Aviv, when the new moon comes in on the beginning of the, what would be the 13th month or the first month, depending on whether or not the barley is Abib, which means come alive. So if the barley is not alive yet, in season, in other words, then you have a 13th month. And with that 13th month, you go until the next new moon comes in, and then you start the new year, right? So the new year changes. It's dynamic. It's not static in a sense, like the solar calendar and what have you has. It's based on the seasons, right? That's where a lot of people go wrong, is because they don't understand the dynamics of the Bible, and the true purpose behind the biblical calendar is, and the observance of the holy days and everything else. There's a lot more science involved with it than people realize, because again, people don't know what the truth is. They don't follow the truth. They follow what they're being told. They believe in evolution theory, the Big Bang theory, modern Christians as being Christians, or Orthodox Jews as being Jews, because that's what they've been told to believe. They don't look at what the reality is. So that all said, I'll do other videos and what have you in the future with the holy days and what have you, but this is the breakdown of the new year, how to observe the new year and the lunar calendar and a leap year when it comes to true biblical calendar. Shalom.